Hello everyone, welcome to Jelly's Journeys. This is the USS Constitution 90-minute sightseeing cruise in Boston. It was raining the day I went, but we still had tons of fun. Follow me along on this cruise.
If you look off to the right-hand side of the vessel, once again, through the masts of these sailboats moored in the harbor, in the background is a rusty iron bridge that's opened. And in that open channel, you can now make out a yellow and black hulled sailing vessel there in the background, in that little opening between the bridge. Well, that's one of three ships, or a replica of one of the three ships that once were there. It was the Eleanor, the Dartmouth, and the Beaver. And it's the oldest continuously operating fish pier in the nation since it was first built in 1914. The fishing vessels tied up alongside are typically known as stern draggers because they drag their fishing nets off the stern or the back end of the vessel from big rolls. They travel some 150 miles offshore to George's Bank, just as long as he didn't see it. It wasn't very spectacular. It was a mud hut with maybe 6 cannon and 20 soldiers. What you see here today is Fort Independence. It's the 8th structure built on Castle Island, and this dates from the 1840s. Now, she's been fully occupied during the American Civil War of the 1860s, but in her entire history, she's never had to fire a shot in anger. As we came by, you might notice the obelisk there, right at the shoreline. And this fleet of Nantucket lightships typically spent 3 weeks at a time, anchored some 20 miles south of the coast of Nantucket Island. And their purpose was to warn mariners of the terribly dangerous shallow waters known as Nantucket Shoals. It's to be a barkentine, which is the name of the vessel with only the foremast having those horizontal spars. Now, just off to the right, we can now see the condos at Clippership Wharf. This is one of the newer constructions here along the shoreline. Began occupancy about anywhere from 2 to 4 years ago. But if you go back about 10 years, even the wharves here, underneath those condos, weren't here. It was Boston Harbor. The developer built those new wharves. You can again see straight lines of rock wall right along the water's edge. The Rose Kennedy Greenway, that lovely open space just a little bit beyond Long Wharf that you crossed over just to come see us. There's one more section of the Big Dig, which is the bridge across the Charles River, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Museum to remind us of all of the many ships that were built and repaired here in the Charlestown Navy Yard, and of course all those who have served in our country's Navy. But coming up on the other side of the pier, here is the jewel of the harbor, the USS Constitution. Whoa is right. She is the oldest commissioned warship afloat in the world, and she is still owned and operated by active duty personnel of the United States Navy. She was built right here in Boston and launched in October of 1797. And she won her famous nickname during the War of 1812. Off the coast of Nova Scotia, she encountered a British warship, the HMS Guerriere, and in the brief battle that ensued, British sailors saw their cannonballs bouncing off the hull of the Constitution. One sailor shouted, "Huzzah! Her sides are made of iron!" And that's how the nickname Old Ironsides was coined and remains associated to the ship to this day.
So that is it, you all. I did not take film of the whole 90 minutes, but it was a nice, relaxing, informative cruise, even if it was raining and had overcast outside. I highly recommend this cruise. Let me know what you think about the cruise in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Thanks from Jelly's Journeys. See you all in the next video.